Deanna Howland, 35 years of age, a resident of Alton, Illinois. Investigators from the Major Case Squad and the Warren County Sheriff's Department investigated in 2016 and identified several people associated with Howland. However, no suspect was identified at that time. Warren County investigators continued to follow up on leads in the case, and in 2021, they submitted some DNA evidence to the FBI in hope that advancements in DNA technology in the recent years could be helpful. Late in 2022, the FBI provided information leading to a person of interest. That brings us to the present phase of the investigation, and I'm going to ask Lieutenant Schoenfeld from Warren County Sheriff's Office and Commander Randy Bowden to update you on the current investigation and the arrest.
Warren County Sheriff's investigators started an investigation of a person of interest, including obtaining a new DNA sample. The new sample was examined by the Missouri State Highway Patrol and was matched to suspect DNA recovered from the victim in 2004. Warren County Sheriff's deputies and Major Case Squad investigators arrested a suspect Tuesday at his current residence in Maryland Heights, Missouri. He is identified as Mike A. Clarity. He is 63 years of age. He was 45 years old in 2004 when the crime occurred. At the time of the crime, he was a resident of St. Anne, Missouri. Of note, Clarity was injured in late 2004 after the date of the homicide in an unrelated incident which caused him to be blind. After his arrest, Clarity was interviewed and he admitted his role in Howland's death. Although the victim's remains were found here in Warren County, the crime took place at his residence in St. Anne, Missouri, located in the 3500 block of Dixie Drive on or about June 26, 2004. The relationship between Clarity and Howland appears to be related to her employment in as a sex worker. A disagreement developed during their interaction. This is an ongoing investigation and details continue to be developed. Thank you.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Now I want to introduce St. Louis Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell, who will have some comments on this case as well.
First, I want to extend our most heartfelt condolences and prayers to the family and loved ones of Deanna Howland. We have charged Mike Clarity of Maryland Heights, 63 years old, with murder in the second degree and abandonment of a corpse. Murder in the second degree is a Class A felony. The sentencing range for a Class A felony is from 10 to 30 years in prison. Abandonment of a corpse is a Class D felony. The sentencing range for a Class D felony is from 1 day up to 1 year in jail and up to 7 years in prison. Again, the victim in this case was Deanna Howland. Though her abandoned torso was discovered in Warren County way back on June 28, 2004, she was not identified until 2016. And as was stated before, she was murdered in St. Louis County on or about June 2004. The defendant was not identified as a person of interest until 2022, partly through patient and diligent detective work. As was also stated, the defendant confessed to these crimes just this week during an interview with 2 detectives from the Major Case Squad. The Major Case Squad, which was activated twice in 2 separate decades on this case, the Warren County Sheriff's Office, the Madison County Sheriff's Office, FBI in St. Louis, were responsible for the brilliant detective work that resulted in our office issuing these charges. Just to name a few of the people responsible for breaking this case: Major Case Squad Commander Randy Bowden, Major Case Squad Deputy Commander Jack Abel, Major Case Squad Deputy Commander Brian Caberna, Warren County Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Scott Schoenfeld, I hope I'm not messing that up, Major Case Squad Detective Shane Monig, FBI St. Louis and the FBI investigative team, the Warren County Sheriff Kevin Harrison, Madison County Sheriff Jeff Connor, Major Case Squad Deputy Commander Captain Dennis DeHart, and Warren County PA Kelly King, whose office also refused to let this case go. And if you'll further indulge me quickly, over the last 4 years, during my first term, I've grown accustomed to the excellent, detailed, and thorough work of the Major Case Squad. The greater St. Louis metro area is probably a little spoiled by this unit, and results like the one today have become the expectation with the Major Case Squad. I commend them. But also, I want to point out and emphasize the quality and excellent work of an organization I don't get the opportunity to work with often. The residents of Warren County should be proud of the work of the Warren County Warren County Sheriff's Office under the leadership of Sheriff Kevin Harrison. Kudos on a job well done. And finally, to Ashley and Nick, who are here today, and all of their family. We pray that you and your family can finally begin the healing process and have some measure of closure. Thank you.
Thank you. I also wanted to give some time for Acting Special Agent in Charge Chris Crocker from the St. Louis office of the FBI, in case he had any comments.
Thank you. I just wanted to take this opportunity to highlight this case as a fantastic example of the importance of partnerships between federal and local authorities. Due to a strong relationship with Warren County Sheriff's Department, they were made aware of and provided access to innovative techniques and capabilities that the FBI possesses to help supply an important lead to help bring this case to its current state. I couldn't be prouder of the men and women of FBI St. Louis and the FBI's investigative genealogy team and the work they did to help provide an important lead to the Warren County Sheriff's Department and the Major Case Squad. And I applaud the Warren County Sheriff's Department and the Major Case Squad for the fantastic work they did in this case to bring it to where we are today. Thank you.
Finally, I want to introduce Ashley Kinnear. She's the daughter of Deanna Howland and Nick McCoy, her son, and give them an opportunity to talk about their mom, who was the victim in this case, and really the focus of the reason that we're here today.
All I can really say is wow. And I know everybody that's been up here already has commented on the great, amazing work that the Major Case Squad has done. But from the other end of the spectrum, I can say that they have made sure that I have felt that they've been working on it nonstop, that I have felt confident in the fact that they were going to get answers. And even though it's been a 19-year case, that they've never stopped caring, they've never just thought about it as a number or as a file. They've always known that, she's, as soon as they put an identity to it, they've known I was her daughter, and they've had me in their thoughts, and they've contacted me, and they've kept me updated, and they've made sure that I knew they didn't forget about it and that they were still actively working. So I want to say thank you to all of them, to anybody who works really long cases or cold cases or anything such of that nature, to be that determined and that dedicated. It takes a whole new toll. And I don't think a lot of people realize that these gentlemen, when they go home, they stay up at night. They can't sleep because they're worried about, well, are these people going to get their closure? Are they going to get their answers? And then they think about, whatever that is that they do to investigate. So it's been 19 years of not only of us wondering, but also of them staying up at night and them also losing sleep and them also thinking about it. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I'm very shocked and impressed at how many people are here and how many people want to know and how many people are invested in this story, because I always have been, and it's always been my mom, and I knew that, something had happened. I knew she didn't just decide to get rid of us. And to me, to know that there's many other people that care and that believe that as well, and that are interested in getting that side out, not just saying, she was a body part found. They're also interested in who she was and how our life could have been different if we would have had a mom there to help teach us things that moms are supposed to teach kids. So I just am very thankful for everybody that is here today and everybody that is interested, and I am very, very thankful for all of the major case workers and the patience they have, and I'm very impressed and interested in how far forensics has come and how it's going to continue to come and how other people are going to get their answers even if it's been a long time. They don't give up, and that science doesn't lie. You will get your responses. So anybody that's still waiting for an answer, have faith. trust your local caseworkers. They are constantly thinking about it, even if they don't know that you're related to that case yet. I promise you're on their mind. And I just want to thank everybody.
Thanks, Ashley and Nick. We pass our sincere condolences on to you and your family for the loss of your mom. Many people had a role in working on this case. Investigators who were assigned to the Major Case Squad, the Warren County Sheriff's Department, Madison County, Illinois Sheriff's Department, personnel from the Missouri Highway Patrol, and the FBI. This case exemplifies a successful collaboration between local, state, federal law enforcement organizations in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river. However, I think we need to emphasize most of the credit goes to the members of the Warren County Sheriff's Department who never forgot about the victim or her family by dedicating countless hours in search of the person responsible for this crime. So I thank you for your time coming out today, and I appreciate you coming. I want to remind everybody this is still an active investigation. We served a warrant on Tuesday on it, and it continues to move forward with the Major Case Squad and Warren County Sheriff's Office. So thank you very much for coming out today.
Could somebody speak to that commitment that the detectives have had that kept them up at night worried about this case and trying to find answers and never giving up? Is there somebody from the team that might be able to speak about where that doggedness comes from and how, in this case, even after nearly 20 years, that you guys kept working this as hard as you did from the very beginning? Can I get your name?
It's Randy Bowden. I'm the commander of the Major Case Squad. I think the commitment comes because we all have family members, right? And I think that could have been anybody that we knew. And the commitment comes is we know there was a crime. We know that we have to solve it. And these investigators, I know over the years, I was involved in the initial call out when this case was started. And I know that everybody wants to see a conclusion of this case. And there's many long hours that's been put in on this case by numerous investigators that are present here and investigators from the past who have since retired. But everybody was in this case to see a successful conclusion, and we found it. Again, these investigators work hard. They work long hours. They work holidays. They work whatever. But again, it's for the victim and it's for the victim's families. So.
One more question, if somebody could answer about how key DNA was and maybe how the development of DNA over the years may have made it in the investigation. It certainly was critical to the investigation. We'd love to hear somebody talk about that.
Right. We can't go a lot into the DNA of this specific case because of it being an active investigation still. But I can tell you that, you know, like Ashley talked about, I think there's a lot of hope for people for past cases. And that technology, as it develops and as it's examined through labs like the Missouri Highway Patrol lab and the FBI lab, really give us a new tool in law enforcement. Maybe not completely new, but it is a developing and good tool for us. And it's not everything like you see on CSI. It does take a while to get information back, but that's because there's a lot of those samples and a lot of things to go through. And really, those are the kind of the unsung heroes that aren't here today, are the people that work in those labs and who do that hard work for us. And they're just as committed as everybody that you see behind me today in solving those crimes.
Can you say where that DNA came from, or what? How?
Well, the initial DNA was discovered on the victim's body, and then so that's where that came from.
Can you describe how it felt to get closer and closer to such a long-running cold case that was maybe seems like it was never going to end?
Yeah, I think Lieutenant Schoenfeld would be the best to talk about that because he was the guy who was really in that whole time.
This has been a long and sometimes frustratingly slow process. It's involved tremendous resources and dedication, but at the point that we zeroed in on a suspect, it was one of the better moments of my career, knowing that we're gonna be able to hold the person who committed this crime and who took their mother away responsible for what he had done ultimately. And my hat also goes off to the investigators here who conducted the interview and secured a confession. We're all part of a team, and I think that St. Louis truly is lucky to be able to bring together a group of people from Illinois, from St. Louis County, from Warren County, from the state, from the federal government with their resources and their talented people who can help us make a whole bunch of pieces of a very big puzzle all fit together into the day where we are today and ultimately criminal charges.
Is it frustrating to think about the many years that this person was out there and, you know, people that could have been hurt during that time?
I think that, justice is a process, and what matters to us the most is getting it right at the end of the day. And if that takes 1 day or 1 week or 18 years, at the end of the day, we want to be able to bring the prosecuting attorney's office and Mr. Bell a case that he can proceed forward with and is going to result in justice for the victim. That's the most important thing.
If this defendant is charged with this heinous crime, is there any suspicion that he may be responsible for other serious crimes or other homicides?
Yeah, as I said, the investigation continues forward, and we've interviewed him. I can tell you there's nothing that leads us into that direction right now, though, okay?
In the interview, did he, how cooperative was he? Did he say anything more about why he did it or what that argument was about?
We kind of covered that a little bit earlier, but the relationship between both of them was related to her being a sex worker and was related to some kind of disturbance or disagreement that happened that night. Previously didn't know each other, though. Okay, I'm going to thank everybody for their time. I'm going to wrap this up and appreciate on our way out the door, we have some flyers that have the information sheet, some pictures for you guys for your media, for print, or we have a mugshot and victim's photo. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Actually spelling first and last name?
Sure. It's Ashley, correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley Kinnear.
Correct.
Right, okay, Kinnear. All right, thank you very much.